Hey there, it's Kevin from Happy Coding here, and over the last few days I've been going back and kind of rewriting the HTML tutorials for Happy Coding. So today I'm going to work on a little example that uses some of these concepts, so some HTML, some tags from HTML, and maybe some CSS. So I'm just going to dive in. If you want to learn more about HTML, then check out these tutorials. But I'm going to maybe just get started on the code. So let's see here. First, what I want to do is maybe just create an HTML file. So instead of trying to write all of this from scratch, I'm going to copy this into a new file and work from there. So let me open up a text editor. And I'll just paste in the content, and I'll save this to an HTML file. So I'll call it like index.html. I could call it anything I want, but index is kind of just a generic default name. So I've got my HTML file, and I can now open that file in my browser. If I do file open or Control O, and then I navigate to the file, and there it is. So I have this HTML, which generates sort of this web page. Cool. So that works fine, and I could I can make changes to this, and I can save my changes and refresh over here, and I'll see my changes in the browser. So next, what do I want to do? I want to use CSS in this example. So maybe I'll start with like a style tag. I could put this in its own file, but for now I'll just keep it here. This autocomplete's kind of annoying, but that's okay. So maybe what I want to do is like use some divs and then give them like backgrounds and margins and stuff. I think that's kind of the direction I want to go with today's example. All right, so I've got a div and I've got some text, and it's all good. So maybe I'll start by styling, or maybe I'll add a class actually. So my sort of idea is to create this kind of like containing effect, and maybe I'll play with like colors and maybe a rainbow or something. So let me do like class equals orange maybe, and put my div inside that. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself honestly, but I tend to do that. So then in here I can use my CSS classes, so like dot red, and let's say like background color red, and maybe dot orange, background color orange. I could use like RGB or hex values here, but I'll just use the names for now. And what else do I want to do? Maybe I'll use an element selector so that all of my divs have, let's say, like a margin of 25 pixels and maybe a border. All right, so that was kind of a lot of CSS to write, but let's refresh the page and see what we got. All right, so I've got my sort of red center or like inner div, and then an orange div that wraps it, and kind of wondering why this inner div does not have, I guess the margin's on the outside, right. So I could change this to like padding maybe, so that it's on the inside. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think I like that better. All right. And I'm going to continue that, I think. Maybe wrap it in another one. Maybe this one's yellow. That class, background color yellow, and I think you can probably guess at the pattern. So maybe I'll real quick just do the rest of them. Green, background color, green, blue, background color, blue. What do we got? Roy, G, Biv. So I need like maybe indigo, maybe violet. I think actually I'm just going to go violet, straight to violet. Indigo ends up looking a little bit goofy. I'm not sure if violet is even a color. I'm not sure if purple. We'll see. So, all right, what do I want to do? I've got yellow, so I'm just going to complete the rest. So Roy, G. I'm probably going to mess up the closing tags. Also, it doesn't format right. That's kind of annoying. Does this editor have like a formatter? I usually actually don't use Atom, so I'm kind of learning as I go. Yeah, whatever, I'll just do it all manually. So maybe I'll just see what that looks like so far. All right, that's cool, it's good enough. Roy G, keep going. I think I'm just gonna get this all out and then format it. Yeah, that's probably smarter. Alright, so my very grossly formatted HTML. And alright, cool, that actually worked. Alright, so let's format these. This sort of like indentation helps you see like exactly where things start and end. All right, so that looks pretty good. I could maybe play with some of these colors. So this green looks a little, I don't know, too dark. So I don't know, it's just light. Is light green a thing? Can I do that? Maybe I switch to the hex notation. So what is it? RGB. So this would be like lime green, like kind of neon green. I think I like that more. And then violet. I don't know. Let's see. Does purple do anything different? Ooh. Cool. That's honestly like that's about as far as I was planning on going. So from here, maybe I can just play with a couple things. Maybe I'll make my text size a little bit larger here. So what is it? Font size. And I don't know. We can play with this. So yeah, it's a little bit better. Maybe I'll center it. Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like that. Cool. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else I want to do? Or maybe I'll just make this a really quick one. One thing I could play with is, so I've got this like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. I think I like that. I think I like the order that it's in. I could just switch it, and it's easy enough to do. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. I don't know if I like that more or less. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll change this color to like white, since it has like a dark background. I don't know. I don't feel too strongly, I guess. The other thing I could do is play with, like right now I have a kind of a rainbow, but what I could do is something like, I mean, it's going to be a little goofy because this is, the class name is red, and I'm going to use maybe a different color here. So maybe what I do is RGB. So I started out like dark blue, and I'm going to go to like cyan is kind of what I'm thinking. So let's see what this would look like. R, maybe GB, something like this. RGB, RGB, So it's going to start like dark blue and go maybe lighter blue. And it's kind of hard to tell. So maybe I'll increase these by a little more each time. So let's see how I want to do this. Maybe that's F. Maybe I'll step down by like 2. So going from F down to A, B, C, D. Maybe this is B. Maybe this is A. I don't know. We can play with this a little bit. Yeah, let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, maybe I'll play with these two. Maybe this goes down to 8. Maybe this goes down to 7. So that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll change this back to black, or just leave it at the default, which is black. You know, it's not bad. But I think I'm going to end up posting the rainbow just because it's a little bit more colorful and more fun. So yeah, I mean, I think this is it. I think that's about as far as I want to go with today's example. So just to recap, what I did is I started with some HTML content that I sort of copied from a pre-existing file. I saved that into an index.html file, and then I built out some HTML using the div element, the div tag, and added some classes, and then played around with the background colors so that I come up with this sort of gradient effect. And you can go from here, and you know, you could try different colors. Like I tried rainbow, I tried blue. Maybe you try some other combination of colors. Another thing we could do is add more text. So like maybe here I say like hello world, something like this. Let's see what this looks like. So you can maybe have, you know, more content, but I kind of like the just kind of centered text right in the middle kind of effect. But you could play with different things. More content in your divs would be an interesting thing. But yeah, I'm going to change it back to rainbow, I think. Let's see how many times I have to push Control Z for this to happen. I guess I could have just done this manually, but whatever. Red, is that about right? Yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. Cool. So that's about as far as I'm going to go. I think this was just a quick example of how I create an HTML file and then play around with it, and that's kind of what I wanted to demonstrate today. So from here, you could play around with the ideas that I mentioned above or before, playing with different colors, different content, different gradients and whatnot. But for me, I'm going to stick with this kind of rainbow effect, I think. And I'm going to post this as an example on happycoding.io. So if you want to look at this code or just copy this code, then check out the link at the bottom of this video. And if you have any questions or anything, you know, comment on the video or come to happycoding.io, come to our forum and say hi. I would love to hear from you if you take this example and create your own little project. I would love to see what you're working on. So don't be a stranger, come say hi. But for now, I'm going to sign off and say thanks for watching. Have a great day. And as always, happy coding.